Yep, good to go, good to go. Yeah, you too, Darren. Yes. Well, I'm looking forward to this one because I haven't seen these guys race before, so I'm excited to see some new. I'm actually seeing some familiar names here tonight, but I'm also excited to see what these drivers are capable of. And is it 10 of each? It is. Happy days. With you. Well, I'm just on board with We the Kevin in the number 14 GT4 Aston Martin. I'm going to have to get familiar with the cars' names, numbers, and who's driving them. Right. Yeah. With you. Well, it's been a while since I've commentated for a mixed class event. I was actually commentating last night for Pleb Series Racing, and they do a lot of charity sort of race events, so they raise money for loads of different good causes. But it was GT Sport that we were playing, but that was multi-class Group 1 and Group 3, and I thought that was an interesting combination between the two. But I like the fact that you've got the different classes. I think obviously it's good for those drivers to learn, you know, getting out of the way for the faster guys when the blue flag's being waved, and the faster guys obviously learning that, you know, the slower guys got the right of way if they're ahead. It's great to see them all traversing their way through the track, and Kyle Lam is a bit of an interesting track as well, so I think we're going to have some entertainment today. Yes, I've just noticed the number 884 Audi GT3 of Mr. Tarkowski. I'm very familiar with this guy. I met him a long time ago, actually, when I first actually got into all of this sim racing malarkey. You've raced the GT3 Audi, you say? With you? How do you find it? Love it, yeah. Have you given the Porsche a go? with you. With you. Well, we've got 4 lap times down. Currently in provisional P1 in the GT3 class. This is the number 4 Mercedes. Is that Graham? I am Graham. Not bad for an opening lap. But I reckon what are we sort of looking at round about an average lap time round here at Kalami? We're looking at the 142s, 143s, or is it 144 quick? Hmm. 143 dead, so we're definitely looking to get into the 142s then. Just under 10 minutes to go of qualifying fastest. What are we on last lap? Let's have a little look here then. So, Graham again. What an incredible array of colours on the on the minimap. It's I've not really seen it like this before. Grey, white, red, light blue, dark blue. I'm only used to seeing blue and grey. That's interesting. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, see what we do and how you want to go about it today. But if you want me to sort of hover over a specific class on my stream and you hover over another one, obviously we can dip into each other's. But if you want me to look over the GT3s, I can do, or GT4s. Happy days. Sounds good to me. Well, still a 143 for P1. Next to him on grid 1, we've got Will 441 off the 143 dead. And 37 Porsche, a .759 off pole position. And next door to him on second row of the grid is the 884 Audi, Mr. Tarkowski. Currently 2.1 seconds off the pace. So gold, silver and bronze, currently putting down some fast lap times. We've just got over 6 minutes of qualifying left to go. Oh. Well, I'm just on board with the number 696 GT4 Audi. I think he's currently leading the GT4 class. And Gina Reno with you. Gino Reno. Yes, very excited to see what these boys are capable of today, especially here today at Kyalami. Kyalami, is that correct? Kyalami. Yes. Will just put a 152 down. Yes. I'm now jumping on board with the number 71 Porsche, Will. Currently 9.5 tenths off the GT3s, but with the lap that he's just put down, he's now only 2 tenths of a second away from the 6.9 Audi, so they're going to be I don't know, they're actually going to be side by side actually on the grids, because one of them might be next to the GT3s, although probably not if there's 10 of the GT3s. It looks like we've got 9 GT3s on board today driving for us. Most certainly, looking forward to it, and Will crossing that start-finish again. But he's now in 3rd position in the GT Ford class, is the 71 Porsche. Graham in the number 4 Mercedes, an 8.2 away, and Mr. Big Balls in the 84 Audi, 11 seconds. So he's just a second off the pace to Graham, I believe. Let's have a little look. So we've got the 969 Audi currently in pole position in the GT4s. We've got just over a minute's worth of qualifying session left to go, and of course that final minute or two of laps remaining to get their final lap down. But we've got Will next to Rhino on the GT4 grids, and then we have Joe Williams next to the Kevin, followed by Lurchie's Gaming. And Lurchie's and with Kevin, running very, very close lap times, as is Joe Williams. But we've got a 10.1, 10.2 and a 10.7 there. So I think we're, like we say, going to be treating some close racing today. It's going to be a good one. But I've just also noticed, Darren, Yvelton. Wow, I've just seen that, yeah. Yeah, Yvelton hasn't put a lap time down, Darren. I'm just sort of wondering. Yvelton, is that how you pronounce that? The 79 Porsche? Interesting. I'm gonna. There he is. And now he's off in the pits. He was just waiting for the last lap, was he? Just waiting for just before the race time. Yep, just on board with the 84 Audi. Yep, on board with him as well, crossing that start finish. And what's he doing? Okay. Nothing wrong with that. It gives you more of a challenge. It is very difficult to stay within the track limits of this, especially when you're put under race pressure, as I know. But yeah. Most certainly. Well, it's 37 Porsche taking pole position with 142. So we did get into the 142 marks. 142.8. Who's that leaving the pits? Making the most of his time on track. And 9 thousandths of a second in the number 4 Mercedes is Graham on the first row of the grid, and we have Will next to Limaro in the 83 Audi with the number 8 Mercedes occupying the second grid. Third row we have Elysium next to the legend Mr. Tarkowski, and all drivers now teleporting to the grid, making final adjustments. And I'm actually getting excited for this one, Darren, has to be said. I appreciate it, yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it, mate. I think it's like you kind of sort of hit the nail on the head, though, with regards to just sort of like you say, just going with the flow, you know, that kind of thing. But I think with regards to doing commentary, I've done quite a few commentaries for quite a few different people now, and clubs and organisations, and the majority of it has been on my own. But if I'm honest with you, it's a lot better doing it with someone else because you can't always catch all the action. And like I mentioned earlier, it's amazing that we've got two of us because one of us can always keep an eye on another class. And I think just it was Dougie mentioned it to me, GLR Racer. He mentioned that usually when you're watching the pros do commentary, thank you, Micro. When you're watching the pros do commentary, one of them is sort of responsible for the action. And the other commentator is responsible for like the technical specs, so they know all the details about the drivers, the cars, the ins and outs, the points. So they kind of get the bounce off each other that way. But you know, I think it's we're both giving each other space to talk. I'm sure there'll be times where there's action and we're both going to be going off on one, but that's the love of it, you know. It creates more energy with the race. So I'm looking forward to it, Darren. Absolutely. Well, I've got my cider open, on with the dark fruits, ready here to enjoy this one for FRL. First time commentating for these boys, lovely group of lads, and I've just realised Magic Mike in chat actually got me involved with all of this. I had some free time not too long ago, and he was free, and I did a commentary for you guys. And yeah, here we are doing the second one, a little bit more professional, if you will. Yeah, absolutely, I appreciate it. Absolutely. Well, I'm currently locked on P19. I'm currently locked on the number 79 McLaren GT4. So as soon as the race gets going, we'll jump back out onto. I usually start on P4. Get some good shots, and obviously you get quite a bit of carnage, don't you? Well, you sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. At the beginning of races, especially change of positions and that kind of thing. We're looking inside the cockpit of the GT4 McLaren, and it looks like a beautiful piece of artistry. I'm always a fan of the inside views. When I drive, I use the cockpit view. I like to compete. I'm competitive, yes, but I'm in it to enjoy it. You know, I'm in it to be immersed, if you will. It's all about immersivity and just sort of having fun with people you know on track that you're familiar with. But the McLaren GT4 looks beautiful. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, it looks like we're ready for them green greens, and we have just got those green greens for round 8 here at Kailami, and we are just need to jump back out real quick, jumping on board with P2 Graham on the outside line of the Porsche. Indeed, I'm just jumping on board with the GT4s. Oh, I see this. Look at the delta. We're getting an incredible amount of change of positions here as the start of round 8 for the FRL Monday Racing stream is on, and one of the cars, I think it was the Porsche, just running a little bit wide there. Another car's just gone off, Darren. Oh, it's all kicking off. And do Will side by side with Joe Williams. Joe Williams just able to take the lead in front of the 71 Porsche. And we the Kevin now. I'm waiting for these. I'm not too sure whether the Delta is updating with all of these overtakes, but who have we got there? The Porsche 888 of King of the Hills now in front of we the Kevin as well. Big fight between Do Will and Joe Williams here. Oh, another Porsche just going off, and a Mercedes. I'm gonna have to wait for the Delta to update itself here. Jumping on board with Lurch's Gaming, the number 93 Porsche, as he makes his way around the penultimate corner here at Kailami and crossing that start-finish straight with just over 57 minutes of racing left to go. We've already had an incredible amount of action, change of hands. Absolutely. On board with the number 9 Mercedes, Dinder Mufflin, and he is behind, was it Gino Rhino in the 696 Audi? Gino Reno, so we've got a Group 4 ahead of a Group 3 here. Gino Reno. Well, Dinder's done the work. He's now got out of the GT4 traffic. Now obviously running in the rear of the GT3 pack. But Gino Reno, from what I'm seeing, is putting some serious pace down. So we've got a 3-second gap to the 21 Porsche, And oh no, I've just seen Elysium and Uvalton as well. Yeah, I see. They've got some work to do. Well, I'm on board with the legend Uvalton in the number 79 Porsche. It says that he's in P18, just behind Elysium, the number 97. Is that an Aston Martin? I didn't quite catch that at the beginning. I'm assuming, was there some contact somewhere? Did you catch that between these drivers, which is yeah, Uvalton hunting down the 21 Porsche. Oh, he's just on the inside. He's about to lose it. Oh, I think he's on the grass, but he just saved that there. So fortunately, he's going to only lost a few tenths, and thankfully not a lot of seconds. But now he's got to chase back down that lost time from Harrison in the 21 Porsche. And now being hunted by Dinder, so Dinder working his way through the GT4 traffic, now within slipstream range of Uvalton. So looks like we've got a little bit of action here with the GT3 class. Yes, very unfortunate events, bless him. Obviously going off track, you lose a little bit of tyre heat, you've got a little bit of, I suppose, grass, rubble. It takes, you know, I don't know, 2 or 3 corners, I suppose, to get them tyres back up to optimum working conditions. But I am Graham, still under a second off P1 with 37 Porsche, but under pressure from Will in the number 8 Mercedes, and he looks like he's well and truly within slipstream range, and P4 in the 737 Audi, my favourite position, taking in a very fast racing line there. So I don't know whether we're going to be seeing the 737 Audi work his way up to the leading pack, but what a cracking fight we've got for P1. Two Mercedes taking different lines, and someone in chat saying they're going to bet on, oh god, I'm pronouncing all these different names. Is it Keti? Keti, okay. Keti P1, yes. So we've got bet on 737 Audi, and it looks as though he has already pushed his way through the track, and he's well and truly now actually in the rear end of P3 of Will in the number 8 Mercedes. I don't think it's going to be too long until we see him make a move, so I'm going to jump on board with P4. And let's see the action involved. It's going to be side by side now with the Mercedes. Is he able to make it stick? He's already made it move, and now he's hunting down P2 in the GT3 class as they make their way through the penultimate corner and up to the start finish here for round 8 at Kailami. All 143s as well, so they're all running very similar lap times. And P2 looks like he's in slipstream range of P1, currently occupied by the 37 Porsche. Barely any time separating P1 and P2. So, what do we usually expect when we're being entertained by the FRL boys? What are we? Who are the fastest? Do we usually have usual antics per race? What do we expect to see as the rest of the race unfolds, Darren? Sorry, did you say 2 pits? 2-pit strategy? Okay. 1, okay. Fire. He's got a fire under his hands with the Mercedes, so the fight for P3 is well and truly underway. Yep. Very interesting. There's a lot to think about, isn't there, with pit windows, and I think especially from the races that I have commentated for other groups, I get the privilege of experiencing different setups, different tactics, and that kind of thing. And one thing that I have noticed especially with those who use manual pit operations, because you say if you completely and utterly bang on with all of your manual operations within the pit window, you save time, and obviously well, it looks like Caddy might be making a move on P2, and they are now coming up to GT4 traffic, passing a GT4 McLaren. Another Mercedes yet to pass. Yes, doing a great job as well of that. Oh, Caddy looking to make a move. He's just showing his nose to the left-hand side of that Porsche. Playing mind games already. It looks like he's going to make a move down, and he's on the side of the Porsche. Well. Unbelievable work from the 737 Audi. That was very, very impressive. And now he's in P1. The question I'm asking is, can the Porsche and Mercedes in tow keep up with the 737 Audi, or is he just going to run away from P2 and P3 and get out of slipstream range? That is now my question. Oh, some more GT4 traffic as well. He has left the pack. And days. So, Gino Reno still leading the GT4 class, and Duil in the 71 Porsche 1.6 seconds now behind P1 in the GT4 class. We've had some incredible action from the 737 Audi. I think you mentioned gone from P6 onwards now into P1 in that gold position, but we are of course over 40 minutes left of racing left to go, so we'll see whether the alien can hang on to his abilities or whether he will lose P1. We've got Graham in P3, 0.639 of a second away from P2, so we've got an incredible battle there. And I'm currently on board with Dinder in the number 9 Mercedes, 0.5 of a second away from P7 in the number 21 Porsche. Well, most certainly been treated to an incredible show today. I am currently on board with Graham, who is right behind the 37 Porsche. Yeah, just got that myself. Fortunately, they're both still on track though. They're not doing 360 degrees. That was a lucky one. I was expecting that to be some contact there and see one of those cars spin around in 360 degrees of motion, but thankfully I don't know whether the Porsche had to just dab on the brakes there just to make sure he was out way of that Mercedes who cut through. But we've still got an incredible fight here between the Porsche and Mercedes, and I don't know whether Graham's getting a little bit frustrated now. Absolutely, so Tarkowski in the number 884 Audi is only 4/10 of a second, well and truly within slipstream range of his fellow GT3 Audi. So we've got two identical class of cars, two identical class of cars, class of the Audis, fighting it out here. I'm sure they've probably maybe gone for different setups. Indeed. Well, Tarkowski's just looking at this fight between the two Audis, incredible fight as well, I might add. The Audi ahead of Tarkowski, the number 83 Audi of... is it Demero? Limero. So Limaro. Look at the GT4 traffic that they're having to work through here. But I was just going to say, Darren, that Limaro is clearly sort of feeling the pressure from constant lap times from Tarkowski as they continue to work through the GT4 class. But I think Tarkowski, looking at his lines, running some real good race pace. I mean, he's lost a few tenths of a second here, so he's well and truly out of slipstream range. But I think we're going to be treated to a pretty good race here between these two, even though they have just lost a little bit of a gap. And just behind, I can just see in the camera shot, we've got a couple of Porsches fighting it out. Absolutely, mate. Yes, and that right-hand corner that they've just gone through there, like, you've got to be so careful not to hit that sausage. If you hit the sausages in this game, it sends you to the moon, doesn't it? Indeed. Well, we've got two people in the pits. The leader's just gone in. Oh, the Porsche is side by side with the Aston Martin, the number 14 Aston Martin of Kevin. Still side by side, Kevin on the inside line, Porsche on the outside line, but who's going to get the run? And we've got the Porsche of, is that Yvolton? Very interesting. Well, the gap has opened up between Yvolton now and the number 14 Aston Martin of Kevin, and now Kevin has to make his way through a back marker. Sorry, no, that's not a back marker. Yes. No, plenty of cars left to pit, like you mentioned earlier. Pit window is a very interesting time, and like I was trying to explain earlier as well, the pit window is a huge, crucial moment for drivers, because it you see quite a few different changes in positions, and now we've got Kevin under heat from a GT3 Porsche, the number 37 Porsche, and leader of round 8 for the FRL race here at Kyalami. Big time Dave in the pits. very interesting. So, Limaro in the 83 Audi still left a pit, but we have 37 Porsche in the pits and soon to leave. So it's going to be interesting to see where these two come out. And where is that alien gone? He's in P4, 33 seconds away from P1, now in P2, but of course he has pitted, and Limaro in the 83 Audi has of course that pit window left to serve. And I believe we are now past that halfway mark as well, Darren. Been treated some incredible action. Looking forward to the rest to unfold. And the leader in the 37 Porsche is passing the 21 Porsche. And the number 4 Mercedes of Graham, a 0.6 of a second in slipstream range. So the fight for P1 is well and truly underway. I'm just curious to see where that alien is going to come out as he's exited those pits now. In P2. Yep. Still P1, absolutely. And the number 4 Mercedes of Graham is putting in an incredible performance here for round 8 at Kailami for FRL. And he is still well and truly within slipstream range as he just passes a sector marker. And well, the 37 Porsche seems to have just made a few tenths worth of seconds ahead of the number 4 Mercedes. Now a second gap, so I'm going to assume that's well and truly out of slipstream range. So Graham with a little bit of work to do, very nearly losing that GT3 Mercedes there, did Graham, but fortunately fought for control, but that's also going to cost him some more time, giving that Porsche a little bit more free space. Well, that's racing. It's I never not see it. It's difficult. Did you say they were racing in teams? Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I'm absolutely loving the format. I'm loving the fact of that, you know, we've got the GT3s and the GT4s on track today. I do like a bit of mixed class racing. Creates for a little bit more drama, a little bit more excitement, and obviously you've got it can create space as well with some drivers, like especially if a couple of GT3 cars are fighting it out and they come up to a GT4 backmarker. You know, one of the GT3s can pass and the other GT3 might struggle, and it can be quite interesting, like tactics, mind games within these sorts of fields are really interesting to watch. Yeah, that 737 Audi is most certainly having an incredible race. 1:43.5 he's just put down, and we've just got just over 20 minutes of racing left to go, closing into a third of the race remaining. Yep. It does look really good. The two Aston Martins, I was looking at them earlier when they were sort of side by side, and it does look really cool. I do like the extra efforts. It's nice to see. Yeah. Well, this Audi's most certainly got both the Audi GT3 down and Kailami down to a T with some very consistent lap times. The timetables here. So we've got the Audi R8 in P1. P2 is Porsche 991. What are we? One lap behind Kahidi. So just crossing that start finish. So he's well and truly pushing through that field now, isn't he, in that Audi? I think an Alien is definitely the tag to give this dude. And in P3, the number 4 Mercedes, going to be taking bronze is Graham. And P4 and P5 occupied by the Audi R8 LMS. You say Bibbles overtook Lurch's Gaming? Interesting. So we've had a change of position between the Audi and Porsche in the GT4 class, and we are running into the last 15 minutes. So it's not going to be long until the fat lady sings. And currently leading the GT4 class is the 71 Porsche Du Will, and Kevin now 7 seconds. Oh no, sorry, Gino Reno leading the GT4 class. 3 seconds behind Gino Reno is Du Will, and third in GT4 class, the number 14, Austin Martin, 7 seconds. Behind P2 in the GT4 class. And Yuvalton back in the pits, as well as Dell in the GT4 class in the McLaren. Well, Tarkowski has made his way up to 5th position now. 3-second gap between the 83 Audi. Well, Tarkowski's not that far behind the fight for P3. So Limaro has just made a move on Gino Reno in the 696 GT4 Audi, and Tarkowski is still well and truly within somewhat of a pouncing range of P4. And it also seems that the GT3 cars are now running consistent lap times of 144s. So those tyres are beginning to come to, maybe not the end of the life, but beginning to show signs of wear, as Tarkowski runs a little bit wide through that right-hand cornered exit, and Tarkowski now coming up to another GT4 back marker, the 122 McLaren, as he moves to the side and allows Tarkowski in the GT3 Audi to make his way through and continue that fight for P4, chasing down that 83 Audi. But whether he'll be able to get that done within the 10 minutes of racing left is left to be desired. We'll see whether he can get that done as he comes up to the left-hand corner here at Calamari. Side by side with the GT4, well and truly passing, and now no more traffic left to deal with. He could just get his head down and see whether he could take that P4 away from the 83 Audi. Oh no. Whew. Yeah, what a race he's had. Katie in the Audi. I think it's most certainly going to be a gold for the 737 Audi today, here for round 8 at Kailami. Yep, seeing another blue flag being waved. I'm not sure whether Tarkowski is going to be able to pull this one off with just under 8 minutes of racing left to go, but he is within a good range, good shout. I don't know whether he's pulling him back a little bit as well, but he needs that slipstream range. He needs to be able to get some free time and pull the Audi back in for a chance of some side-by-side action. And a half minutes left of racing left to go. It appears that the majority have found their positions, but we may have a change of hands. It's left to be desired. So it's just King of the Hills now to work through Big Time Dave in the 122 McLaren. Lurchy's able to pass. Graham in the number 4 Mercedes in P3 is only 1.4 seconds away from a potential P2. Christina. see whether we can capitalize on any more time, whether we can get under that second mark, but we are fast closing into that checkered flag being waved with just over 3.5 minutes of racing left to go here at Kailami, and just fighting for grip. Tarkowski 9.1 seconds away from P4, so I'm going to assume has made a mistake while we have had our eyes elsewhere. So I think that's all she wrote there, unless we see any more mistakes. Graham now 2 seconds away from P2, so that's been moving up, so it looks as though drivers are within their relative positions. And Kahidi just working his way through Kailami like a boss. And is that Yavalton? I think he's now making his way up towards, with just over 90 seconds of racing left to go before we are on that final lap. Incredible. I was just thinking that. I was just thinking, are they both the leaders?
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
Absolutely awesome, yeah. Well, there we go. Alrighty, well, I am currently on board with P1, coming up to the penultimate corner for round 8 here for the FRL at Kyalami, and that is going to be a gold.
The leader has finished the race.
And I think he's happy with that one. What a beautiful 360. He nearly saved that and took it straight on again. Well, congratulations to him. Yep, Christina crossing that line as well. With a Kevin. Yep, Limaro next across that line. Why does it say that Kahidi has just been disqualified? Is that going to have affected his race? He's put him in P19. Well, that's an interesting one. Well, that's what I was just thinking. Unless you sometimes when you reverse it does that, but usually when I'm doing streams and people win, they're doing donuts for days and there's never any problems and all this sort of thing. So he did, yeah. It's an interesting one. But I'm going to yeah, I mean, I assume that he's still going to keep the points, though. I'm sure the stewards will recognise that that was, I'm assuming, a mistake somehow. Absolutely. Well, two Porsches now making their way back into the pits, and that's that one over. So congratulations to Keedy for P1, and P2 and P3, and Gino for P1 in the GT4 class. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate for the FRL boys yet again. I'd be happy to see you all another time for another stream. It's been a pleasure doing some co-commentary with you, Darren. I'm looking forward to the next one. Brilliant, brilliant to hear, mate. That's so good, mate. It's been great. I think you've done awesome. Thank you. Absolutely, absolutely. It's a pleasure doing co-coms. Wicked. Well, yes, this is it. You're doing on Mondays, is it? Every Monday, that might be able to be a thing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sounds awesome, mate. Sounds absolutely awesome. Well, I'm going to end the stream there, and I will catch you on Discord, and we'll talk some more. Yeah, you too. Ciao, ciao.